What if I told you there's a silent revolution happening right now? It's not being televised, it's not being reported in the mainstream media, and it's a truth that, once you understand it, will change the way you look at life, love, and success forever. Millions of men are walking away from the one thing society has told them is the ultimate goal, marriage. And they're not doing it because they're broken, lost, or hate women. They're doing it because they've run the numbers, they've analyzed the data, and they've made a calculated, rational choice. These men are building wealth at a rate that leaves their married friends in the dust. They're experiencing a level of freedom and personal growth that most can only dream of. They are the architects of their own lives, and they are not just surviving, they are thriving. Meanwhile, many of their married peers are caught in a gilded cage, a life that looks perfect on the outside but feels hollow within. They're battling debt, navigating endless negotiations in their own homes, and watching their dreams fade under the weight of obligations they never truly chose. The evidence is overwhelming. Studies and surveys are beginning to reveal a shocking trend. Strategically single men are reporting higher levels of life satisfaction, accumulating wealth faster, and enjoying better mental and physical health than their married counterparts. This isn't just a small difference, it's a chasm. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain and explore the 5 transformations that happen when a man chooses this path. The second will show you how to build a financial fortress. The fourth is a psychological revelation that explains why these men wake up energized while others wake up exhausted. And the fifth will reveal why this isn't just a trend, but a permanent shift in our society. But let me be clear, this isn't an attack on relationships. This is an expose on a broken system. This is about understanding the new rules of the game so you can play it to win. Once you see the full picture, you can't unsee it. So, let's get into it. The first and most dramatic transformation is the one society doesn't want to talk about: money. When a man strategically reclaims his financial destiny, the results are nothing short of astounding. Let's do the math that so many are afraid to face. The average cost of a wedding in the United States now hovers around $30,000. And that's just the entry fee. The financial bleed continues from there. Married men often find their expenses doubling or even tripling. The desire for a larger home and a good school district, the need for a second or even third car, the pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle, it all adds up. But the most significant financial drain isn't the direct costs, it's the opportunity cost. The man with a family to support can't take the same calculated risks as his single counterpart. He can't afford to take a pay cut for a job with a higher long-term potential. He can't easily move to a new city for a life-changing opportunity. He's anchored by his responsibilities. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. The strategically single man has a different set of options. He can live in a smaller, more affordable home. He can drive a practical, paid-off car. He can invest a significant portion of his income because he is his only financial dependent. Here's a real-world scenario. 2 men, both earning the same salary. The married man puts a down payment on a large house and now has a 30-year mortgage. The single man rents a modest apartment and invests the difference. In 10 years, the married man has some home equity, but he also has a mountain of debt. The single man, on the other hand, has a portfolio of investments that has been quietly compounding, and he is well on his way to financial independence. This isn't just theory, it's a reality for a growing number of men. They are seeing their net worth skyrocket while their married friends are stuck on a financial treadmill. They're realizing that, for many, modern marriage has become a wealth destruction machine. The second transformation is one that money can't buy: time. The strategically single man has complete and utter sovereignty over his 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Want to spend your Saturday morning in a deep work session on your side hustle? You can. Want to take a spontaneous weekend trip to the mountains? Pack a bag and go. There are no negotiations, no compromises, and no guilt. Your time is yours to invest as you see fit. For the married man, the reality is often starkly different. Every hour is a negotiation. Time spent at the gym is time away from the family. A weekend spent on a personal project is seen as selfish. Even an evening with friends comes with a price tag of relationship points. But the most significant difference is the mental bandwidth. The single man isn't constantly managing someone else's emotional state. He isn't walking on eggshells, trying to avoid a conflict. That mental energy, which is a finite resource, can be redirected into building, creating, and learning. The compound effect of this over years is staggering. Think of it like this: if you want to master a new skill, it might take 1,000 hours of focused practice. For the single man, that's a straightforward equation of time and effort. For the married man, it's a complex negotiation that he has to win every single day. The friction of that daily battle is often enough to make him give up. The third transformation is perhaps the most surprising because it's the one that society has lied about the most. We've been told that single men are lonely, depressed, and unfulfilled. But the reality for men who have chosen this path is the exact opposite. They report a deep sense of psychological peace that comes from not being responsible for someone else's happiness. They are not the emotional dumping ground for someone else's anxieties and insecurities. They sleep better, they have more stable moods, and they live without the constant fear of saying or doing the wrong thing. In many modern relationships, the man is expected to be the emotional support system, the financial provider, the problem solver, and the ego booster for his partner. He comes home from a demanding job, not to a place of rest and rejuvenation, but to a second shift of emotional labor. The man who chooses strategic singleness learns radical self-reliance. He becomes a whole, complete individual. And the data backs this up. Single men with a strong sense of purpose report higher levels of life satisfaction than the average married man. The fourth transformation is about personal growth, and it explains why the gap between strategically single men and their married counterparts widens so dramatically over time. For the married man, especially with children, life often shifts into maintenance mode. The focus is on preserving the status quo. Any major change is a risk to the stability of the family unit. Personal growth takes a backseat to family obligations. The single man, on the other hand, is playing an infinite game. He is free to pursue aggressive growth because the only person he needs to convince is himself. He can start a business, go back to school, or move across the country in pursuit of a dream. The daily habits also compound differently. The 2 hours a married man spends on bedtime stories and household chores are 2 hours a single man can invest in learning a new skill. Over 5 years, the single man has acquired a portfolio of skills that have dramatically increased his market value. The married man is in the same job, with the same skills, and the golden handcuffs are tighter than ever. The fifth and final transformation is the ability to design a life that is a true reflection of your values and your purpose. The strategically single man can live in a city because he loves the culture, not because it's a good place to raise a family. He can travel to the places that call to his soul, not just the ones that are on his partner's bucket list. He can create a living space that is a reflection of his own personality, not a compromise between two conflicting tastes. But the deepest freedom is the freedom to pursue meaning on your own terms. If that meaning comes from building a business, he can do it without guilt. If it comes from a creative pursuit, he can do it without judgment. If it comes from adventure, he can do it without seeking permission. Many married men confess to a feeling of being trapped in a life that, while it looks good on paper, feels empty inside. They have the house, the car, the family, but they've lost themselves along the way. The man who designs his own life, on the other hand, lives with a sense of authenticity and purpose that is a source of profound and lasting happiness. So, if this path is so beneficial, why isn't it celebrated? Why is it, in fact, shamed and stigmatized? The answer is simple. The system needs you to get married. The married man with a mortgage, car payments, and a family to support is the perfect consumer. He's a predictable taxpayer and a reliable worker. He's a cog in the economic machine. The financially independent single man, on the other hand, is a threat to that system. He's less controllable, less predictable, and he doesn't need the system in the same way. And so, society uses every tool at its disposal to push men down the traditional path. You're told you're selfish, that you'll die alone, that you're not a real man. The media, the corporate world, and even your own social circles will all apply pressure. But men are starting to see through the manipulation. They're looking at the evidence, they're listening to the stories of their fathers and grandfathers, and they're making a different choice. Here's what mainstream narrative won't discuss openly. Society needs individuals to keep choosing traditional paths despite changing value propositions because the entire economic system depends on productivity being channeled into family support and consumption. Individuals pursuing their own interests and keeping their own resources don't spend money stimulating the economy the way traditionally committed individuals do. They don't create the stable tax base. They don't produce the next generation of workers and consumers. From a purely economic systems perspective, they're less valuable to GDP growth. The traditionally committed individual with mortgage, car payments, partner, and dependents spends almost everything they make. They're consuming constantly. They're the perfect economic unit from government and corporate perspectives. They're trapped in productive consumption cycles. The strategic individual building wealth spends a fraction of income and invests the rest. They're economically independent and therefore less controllable by economic incentives. They don't need the system in the same way. The system needs them to need it. So society uses every available tool to shame and pressure people into traditional paths. You're selfish. You'll end up alone. You're not complete. You're afraid of real commitment. Something's wrong with you. All designed to override rational self-interest and push you into arrangements benefiting the broader economic system. Media pushes narratives that independent individuals are somehow lacking, that successful people follow traditional structures, that you're incomplete without conventional relationships. Corporate culture rewards traditionally committed individuals with perception advantages. Social circles sometimes exclude independent individuals from couple-centric activities. It's systematic pressure from every direction. But individuals making strategic choices see through this manipulation. They've observed various outcomes, compared notes with people living different paths, examined the actual data, and they're choosing differently based on informed analysis. This trend isn't reversing. It's accelerating. Every year, more people observe results from peers who took different paths. They see peace, wealth, freedom, growth, and satisfaction. And they realize traditional paths were often promoted by people who benefit from their sacrifice, not by people who have their best interests at heart. I'm not here to tell you what to choose. I'm here to show you there's a choice that's rarely presented clearly. You can choose the traditional path, partnership, family structure, conventional success markers. If you find truly exceptional circumstances, if you navigate successfully through all challenges, it can be extraordinarily fulfilling. It's not impossible, just increasingly complex and requiring very specific conditions. The individuals in exceptional partnerships usually found unique situations, or had very specific circumstances that made it work beautifully. It absolutely can happen. Just understand the realistic probabilities. Or you can choose strategic independence. Build wealth aggressively. Design life exactly as you want. Pursue growth without constraint. Maintain psychological peace. Still enjoy companionship and connection without legal or financial entanglement. Keep your freedom while still having meaningful relationships on your terms. But make this choice consciously, eyes open, understanding real costs and benefits of each path. Not based on what society says you should want. Not based on what your parents expect. Not based on what peers are doing. Based on what you actually value and what kind of life you actually want to build. Most people never make this choice consciously. They follow default scripts because it's expected, because partners want it, because everyone else is doing it, because they're afraid to diverge from norms. They wake up 10 years later realizing they never consciously chose this path, but now they're locked in financial obligations, dependence, social judgment if they change course. They're trapped in lives they never deliberately selected. Don't be that person. Whatever path you pursue, do it with complete information about what you're choosing. Know the real statistics. Know the real financial implications. Know the real lifestyle changes. Know the real psychological impacts. Make an informed decision because this is probably the most important decision you'll make in your entire life. It determines your wealth trajectory, your daily quality of life, your stress levels, your freedom, your ability to pursue meaning on your terms. Don't make it based on incomplete information and social pressure. But here's what you absolutely need to understand. Everything I just showed you, the wealth acceleration, the peace, the freedom, the growth, it's all real. But there's something critical I need to clarify. These strategic individuals aren't thriving because they're alone. They're thriving because they're not with the wrong person. There's a massive difference. The reason strategically independent individuals often outperform those in conventional arrangements isn't because relationships are inherently problematic. It's because the majority of modern relationships involve dynamics that drain rather than multiply, consume rather than build, create chaos rather than peace. But here's what rarely gets discussed. The right partnership does the opposite of everything I described. The right partner doesn't drain your wealth, they help you build it faster. They don't consume your time, they make your time more valuable. They don't create emotional chaos, they create peace that lets you perform at higher levels. They don't limit your growth, they accelerate it. The individuals who are strategically independent and thriving aren't against partnership. They simply haven't found a partnership worth the investment, and they're smart enough not to settle. Think about it this way. If you had a reliable system to identify truly exceptional partnership potential, if you could filter out mismatched situations in weeks instead of years, if you had clear frameworks that told you definitively whether someone multiplies your life or diminishes it, would that change your entire approach? This is exactly why understanding partnership dynamics at a deep level matters so much. The answer isn't necessarily permanent independence. The answer is having the intelligence to know the difference between a partnership that will elevate you and one that will limit you, and having that intelligence before you invest years discovering it the hard way. If this video showed you a perspective you've never heard before, subscribe to Aphorism Archive. Every week we discuss truths about relationships, personal development, and life design that mainstream content won't touch. Comment below. Are you choosing strategic independence or the traditional path? Just write strategic or traditional. Let's see where this community stands. Society will shame you for choosing yourself. History will prove you were smarter than those who didn't think critically about these decisions. Your life is yours to design. Make sure you're designing it for yourself, not for everyone else's approval. The freedom is real. The peace is real. The wealth acceleration is real. The personal growth is real. The life satisfaction is real. And when you find the right partnership that multiplies all of it instead of diminishing it, you'll know exactly how to recognize it because you understand both paths clearly. Now you know what's possible. Now you've seen the evidence. Now you understand both paths with complete information. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Choose consciously. And whatever you choose, Make absolutely certain it's actually what you want, not what someone else wants for you. Your future is waiting. Go build it deliberately. Subscribe for more content on relationship intelligence, personal development, and strategic life design. Check out our playlist on conscious decision making for more insights like this. Your life, your choice, your design.